In your consumer news, more than 100 reports of burns have prompted a major recall of a brand of pressure cookers.
You're making dinner when your pressure cooker suddenly explodes. Boiling food hits your face, your chest, your arms. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, it happened to 136 people last year from just one brand. Most of them are permanently scarred. And that brand is probably in your kitchen right now. Today, I'm exposing 10 kitchen appliance brands that you shouldn't even consider buying, plus 4 safe alternatives that won't land you in the ER. Let's get into it. Number 10. Aldi Ambiano brand. Look, we all love Aldi's prices, the grocery store where you can fill your cart for under $100. Their private label Ambiano brand promises affordable kitchen appliances that look just like the expensive ones. Pressure cookers for $49, air fryers for $35, multi-cookers that claim to do everything the big brands do at a fraction of the price. But in October 2025, the company recalled over 46,000 Ambiano pressure cookers after 8 people suffered severe burn injuries. The problem was that the lids could be opened before the steam pressure was fully released, causing scalding contents to literally explode onto whoever was standing nearby. We're talking about second and third degree burns. One woman shared her story online. She was making vegetable soup, something she'd done a dozen times before. She followed every instruction in the manual, waited for the timer, released the valve. But when she went to twist the lid, it came off instantly. No resistance, no warning, just immediate chaos. Boiling liquid sprayed across her kitchen like a geyser, hit her arm, splashed up to her face, soaked through her shirt to her stomach. She remembers screaming and running to the sink, but the damage was already done. Second-degree burns on her forearm, first-degree burns on her face and abdomen, 3 trips to the emergency room, weeks of wound care, $8,000 in medical bills, all because she wanted to save money on a pressure cooker. But that's not all. Aldi also had to recall their Ambiano cotton candy makers because the heating elements could literally ignite the sugar and start fires. When the product designed to make treats for your kids becomes a fire hazard, that's a hospital bill waiting to happen. Aldi is cutting corners on safety to hit those rock-bottom prices, and customers are paying for it with their skin. At least Aldi warns you with a recall notice. The next brand hides behind the trust of a retail giant you shop at every week. Number 9. Best Buy Insignia brand. Best Buy makes TVs and laptops. Great! So when they started selling their own Insignia brand of kitchen appliances, people assumed they'd have the same quality standards. Big mistake. In 2024, Best Buy had to recall 930,000 Insignia pressure cookers. Why? Because someone printed the wrong measurements on the inner pot. Yeah, you heard that right. The incorrect volume markings caused people to overfill the pots, which then exploded hot food and liquid when users tried to release pressure. The company received 31 incident reports, including 17 burn injuries, some involving second-degree and severe burns. One man I read about followed the markings to the letter, filled it to the line like the instructions said, did a quick release and the pot basically became a volcano. Scalding chicken soup erupted straight into his face, burned his chest and arms. He still has scars 2 years later. Here's what makes this even worse. Best Buy knew about this for months before they issued the recall. Months. They got the first injury reports and didn't immediately pull the product. How many people got burned in that time because Best Buy was dragging their feet? How many injuries could have been prevented if they'd acted faster? But when you're slapping your brand name on cheaply manufactured pressure cookers to make a quick profit, customers become test subjects. Speaking of cheap manufacturing, the next brand takes it to a whole new level. Number 8. Vevor. If you spend any time on Amazon, you've seen Vevor. They're everywhere. Ice makers, food equipment, kitchen gadgets, and the prices are almost too good to be true, which should have been everyone's first red flag. Vevor is a Chinese manufacturer that floods the US market with ultra-cheap appliances. And in December 2025, just a few weeks ago, Vevor recalled their ice crushers because they could experience thermal events and ignite. Thermal events. That's corporate doublespeak for this thing might catch on fire while you're using it. What's scary is that, unlike Aldi or Best Buy, Vevor doesn't have your contact information. They don't know who bought what. So, when a recall happens, they rely on Amazon to notify customers, and Amazon's notification system is spotty at best. Most people never find out their appliance is dangerous until something goes wrong. One small cafe owner bought a Vevor ice crusher to save money. 3 months in, she smelled burning plastic. Unplugged it immediately. The motor housing was literally melting. She found out later it was part of the recall, but Vevor never contacted her. No email, no letter, nothing. If she hadn't noticed that smell, her entire cafe could have burned down. That's the problem with these budget Chinese brands. minimal US oversight, limited accountability, and when something goes wrong, good luck getting customer service. You'd think spending big money would solve these problems. Turns out even luxury brands can be just as dangerous. Number 7. Wolf Appliance. This is the brand people dream about when they're planning their luxury kitchen renovation. You see these ranges in celebrity homes, high-end cooking shows, and million-dollar properties? You'd think spending $20,000 on a range would guarantee safety, right? Wrong. In November 2024, Wolf recalled tens of thousands of these luxury oven ranges that sold for $2,500 to $23,000. Why? Because if liquids boiled over, the ranges could short-circuit and cause griddles to turn on unexpectedly, creating burn and fire hazards. Imagine this. You're upstairs, asleep. Your Wolf range decides to turn itself on. The griddle heats up. Anything sitting on it starts burning. One family came downstairs to find smoke pouring from their kitchen because their $18,000 range had a mind of its own. Wolf received 36 reports of griddles activating without anyone touching them. The recall notice went out and Wolf offered repairs. But how do you trust that range again? How do you leave your house knowing it might decide to turn itself on? Some people just ripped them out and started over and lost thousands on an appliance that was supposed to last decades. Now, before we continue, if you want to protect yourself and your family from dangerous products, hit that subscribe button. We expose the truth about products that put profits over people, and you need to know which brands are gambling with your safety. And tell me in the comments, which kitchen appliance brand do you think is the safest? I'd like to know. All right, let's keep going. Number 6. Sunbeam Oster brand. Oster is everywhere. Target, Walmart, Amazon. Their countertop ovens look sleek and affordable. The kind of appliances you buy without thinking twice because they've always been there. Safe, reliable, familiar. But in September 2025, Sunbeam recalled over 1 million Oster French door countertop ovens. Why? The doors could slam shut on you while your hand was inside. Like a bear trap, except the bear trap is also 450 degrees. Sunbeam received 95 injury reports, including 2 cases of second-degree burns. One woman wrote a review that went viral before the recall. She was pulling out cookies. Both doors suddenly slammed shut on her forearm and trapped her against 450-degree heating elements. She screamed for her husband to unplug it. She had second-degree burns, skin grafts, and permanent scarring. And get this, these ovens were sold for 10 years, 2015 to 2025. 10 years of people getting their arms burned before Sunbeam finally issued a recall? How is that acceptable? That's the same cold calculation the next brand made until people started dying. Number 5. LG Electronics. LG makes great TVs. Their refrigerators? Not so much, but their ranges are quite deadly. In February 2025, LG recalled 500,000 electric range ovens in homes across America due to fire hazards. Why? The control knobs could be accidentally turned on by people bumping into them, your toddler who's tall enough, or even by pets. There were incidents where houses burned and people died from fire started by range knobs accidentally activated. One family was asleep upstairs. Their cat jumped on the LG stove, turned on a burner. By the time the smoke alarm went off, the kitchen was engulfed. They lost their cat, their dog, and half their house. And what was LG's solution? They issued a software update for some models and mailed out warning stickers. Not a redesign. Not a better knob system. Just a sticker that said, remember to use the control lock feature. As if a sticker would bring back their pets and their house. Their pets died because of LG's lazy design. Think about that next time you see their logo. At least LG sold you an appliance you could see was dangerous. The next brand hid the danger inside your food. Number 4. Cuisinart. When people think of food processors, they think Cuisinart. Professional chefs use them, cooking shows feature them. They've been the gold standard for decades. But in December 2016, Cuisinart recalled 8 million food processors, making it the largest kitchen appliance recall in U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission history. December 2016. Why? The riveted blades could crack over time, causing small metal pieces to break off into processed food. Cuisinart received 69 reports of consumers finding broken blade, pieces in their food, including 30 reports of mouth lacerations or tooth injuries. Think about that. You're making hummus or pesto. You pour it into a bowl, take a bite, and suddenly you feel something sharp. You spit it out. It's a jagged piece of metal blade. One guy had been using his Cuisinart for months before he realized the blade was cracked. Checked the food processor and saw fractures everywhere. He got his teeth examined. Turns out he'd cracked a molar. These products were sold from July 1996 through December 2015. Almost 20 years of people potentially eating metal fragments. And when Cuisinart finally issued the recall, replacement blades took up to 6 months to arrive. Some people waited until 2017 for a replacement. Totally unacceptable. You'd think after that the pressure cooker industry would have learned. Nope. The next brand took it even further. Number 3. Instant Pot. Instant Pot was the darling of home cooks everywhere. Meal prep made easy. Set it and forget it. Except people forgot one thing: safety. In 2023, Instant Brands declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and multiple lawsuits over exploding Instant Pots played a major role. Let me paint you a picture. In 2018, over 104,000 Instant Pot gem units were recalled after reports of overheating, melting, property damage, and fire hazards. Then, in 2015, roughly 1,000 Instant Pots were recalled when a thermal probe defect could cause electric shock. But the worst part was the explosions. People making dinner, waiting for the beep, then boom. The lid flies off, boiling stew sprays everywhere. One woman in 2025 sued Amazon after her Instant Pot lid flew open while pressurized. She suffered severe burns to her face, chest, and arms. 3rd-degree burns, 8 surgeries, permanent facial scarring, and she's not alone. There are dozens of lawsuits from people with life-altering injuries. Instant Brands literally went bankrupt because they couldn't afford to keep defending themselves. They chose profits over safety until the lawsuits bankrupted them. The brand still exists under new ownership, but those same dangerous models might still be in kitchens across America, sitting on counters, waiting. The next brand watched all these Instant Pot disasters and thought, we can do that too. Number 2, Crock-Pot, Sunbeam products. You know those slow cookers everyone's grandma had? Turns out the pressure cooker version is a lawsuit machine. In June 2025, a Colorado jury initially awarded $55.5 million to Georgina Perez after her Sunbeam Crock-Pot Express exploded in 2019. Well, what happened to her? The lid detached while pressurized and scalding contents erupted. She suffered burns on 13% of her body, permanent sweat gland damage. The court found Sunbeam 27% responsible and Newell Brands 63% responsible. The jury looked at the evidence and decided these companies knew the product was dangerous and sold it anyway. And in November 2024, Sunbeam recalled about 914,430 Crock-Pot 6-quart express multi-cookers because they could pressurize with an unlocked lid, which could unexpectedly detach and cause serious burns. Think about that timeline. The explosion happened in 2019. The recall didn't come until 2024. 5 years. How many people got burned in those 5 years? One lawsuit plaintiff said she followed every instruction, released the pressure, pressed stop, twisted the lid, and the pot exploded. Liquid sprayed her hand, wrist, and stomach. 1st and 2nd-degree burns and permanent scarring. For making dinner. The $55 million award was later reduced, but when a product leads to such a jury verdict, that tells you everything you need to know about how badly the company screwed up. Which brings us to number 1, the absolute worst offender on this list. Number 1. Shark Ninja, Ninja Foodie. Shark Ninja is everywhere. They're ninja blenders, they're air fryers that promise restaurant-quality results at home. They're masters of getting their products into every big box store in America. But they're also masters of selling dangerous products and hoping nobody notices until it's too late. May 2025. Shark Ninja recalls 1.8 million Ninja Foodie OP300 series pressure cookers. Let me repeat that. 1.8 million to why? The pressure cooking lid could be opened during use, causing hot contents to escape and posing a risk of severe burn injuries. Shark Ninja received 106 reports of burn injuries, with more than 50 involving 2nd or 3rd-degree burns to the face or body. 26 lawsuits have been filed. Let me tell you about one case that perfectly captures this horror. A woman was pressure cooking beef stew. The unit beeped to signal it was done. She waited for the pressure to release like the manual said, but the lid opened anyway, while still pressurized. Boiling stew exploded like a geyser, hit her face, her chest, her arms, 3rd-degree burns, 8 surgeries, permanent facial scarring. She sued. And guess what Shark Ninja's defense was? They said she must have used it wrong. Except this happened to 106 people, all supposedly making the same mistake, all ignoring the same warnings. No, the product was defective, period. And Shark Ninja knew it. They kept selling these units from 2019 through March 2025. 6 years. Sold at Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, Amazon, and Target for about $200. 6 years of people getting their faces burned off before the recall. That's pure corporate evil. Alright, enough nightmares. Let's talk about brands that won't send you to the burn unit. Here are 4 of the better and safer brands. But first, if this video made you wary of your kitchen appliances, hit that subscribe button. And let me know in the comments, do you have any of these 10 brands in your kitchen? And will you throw them out after today? Now, let's get into the safe ones. Number 1. LG. Remember LG ranges at number 5? The ones that killed pets and burned down houses. Yeah, avoid those. But their other appliances are actually really good. LG was awarded the overall most reliable appliance brand by Reviewed in 2025. Consumer Reports ranked LG second overall for reliability, and they had consistent above-average results across refrigerators, dishwashers, and laundry machines. Their linear compressor technology in refrigerators reduces mechanical wear. Their direct drive motors in washing machines last longer. Just avoid their ranges and stick with their refrigerators, dishwashers, washers, dryers, and microwaves. You'll be fine. Number 2. Speed Queen. Speed Queen is built in the same Wisconsin factory that supplies laundromats across the country. No touchscreens, no Wi-Fi connectivity, no app to tell you when your laundry is done. Only heavy-duty steel construction and mechanical controls focused on durability. Laundromats are the most brutal environment for appliances. They run 12 to 16 hours a day. They get loaded improperly. They get overstuffed. They get coins jammed in them. And Speed Queen washers survived that abuse for 15 to 20 years. The residential models use the same commercial-grade components. Metal gears instead of plastic. Heavy-gauge steel cabinets. Motors rated for 25 years of regular use. These machines cost more and look basic, but they just don't die. And they definitely don't explode. Number 3. Miele. Miele consistently ranks among the most reliable brands with service rates under 10%. These appliances are built in Germany with precision manufacturing. Their dishwashers have 20-year lifespans. Their ovens have professional-grade reliability. One woman upgraded to a Miele dishwasher after 3 failed brands in 5 years. 7 years later, it's still flawless. Best $1,500 she ever spent. Miele costs more, but when you calculate the cost of replacing cheap appliances every 3 years plus potential injury costs, Miele is actually cheaper in the long run. Number 4. Bosch. For the 7th consecutive year, Bosch has been rated America's most trusted kitchen appliance brand with a net trust quotient score of 116.6. Why? Because German engineering actually means something. Their dishwashers run at noise levels under 44 decibels. Their ovens heat evenly. And most importantly, they don't explode or catch fire. Bosch applies rigorous testing standards and quality control processes that result in appliances consistently outperforming competitors in longevity studies. You're paying more upfront, but you're not paying for emergency room visits or lawyers. So that's it. 10 brands, hundreds of injuries, millions in lawsuits, and they all made the same choice: profit over people. They knew people were getting burned, scarred, even killed, and they kept selling anyway because lawsuits were cheaper than recalls. But now you know the 4 brands that won't destroy your life. So what should you do? Register your appliances at cpsc.gov. Check it monthly, and remember, that $40 deal isn't worth your face. Which brand on this list pissed you off the most? Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next expose, and share this video everywhere. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video.